If you're wanting to bring in additional podcast guests to your show and you're wondering how to simplify that process but not sacrifice the quality of the production, then let me walk you through this easy audio podcast production setup that you can take on the go. What's up, I'm Yesenia, and in this channel, I share a variety of tips and tactics to help you up-level your podcast game. And if you like that type of content, go ahead and click subscribe so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. So right now I'm going to walk you through an easy podcast setup that you can take on the go. Now, while I love the concept of doing video podcasts, sometimes when you're going on the go, it might be a little bit more complicated. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. But let me walk you through a very simple setup that you can use to capture really great audio and still be on the go without having to bring lots of equipment. When you think of a podcast setup, a video podcast setup specifically, you're thinking of what you're seeing right now: talking head, a boom mic or mic arm or a mic stand, and then the microphone is actually attached to that particular holder, stand, whatever. And that's pretty much it. The host is just talking and not holding a microphone. Now, when you're on location, that changes a little bit because depending on where you're going to be recording, you may have to do a little bit more of a run and gun type of production, meaning you may not have the luxury of sitting down and properly setting up your equipment. So this is where having the right microphone is crucial for a successful production that is not only simple but also effective in terms of like maintaining the high quality. Now, speaking of microphones, there are two types of microphones that you want to consider. One is a dynamic microphone and the other one is a condenser. Now, when you want to do a podcast and you know that there's going to be a lot of additional noise in the background, think about a conference, for example. Even if you're far in a corner or something, that the noise where the noise isn't that noticeable, you may want to consider a microphone that will allow to only capture the audio coming in that is closest to that device. Therefore, a dynamic microphone is going to be your best option. A condenser microphone, like let's say a Rode mic or like the famous Blue Yeti, those are condenser microphones, which mean that you are going to get more audio picked up from your surrounding areas. Now, the Blue Yeti has different types of settings where you can control how the audio is being picked up, but still, it is still a condenser type of microphone. So for this type of occasion, you may want to think of a handheld microphone. So like the one that I have here. So this one in particular is the Samsung Q2U. And at the time of recording this video is about $70 USD on Amazon. You might be able to find this microphone cheaper if they're running a sale. And because this is a dynamic microphone, it will be picking up the audio that is closest. So if you have some background noise, it's not going to pick that up, which is great. And again, this is a very affordable microphone. So I'm going to switch to this other microphone in 3, 2, 1. So now I'm talking on the Samsung Q2U, and this microphone, as you see on the screen, I'm holding the microphone fairly close, similar to how I was positioned the Shure MV7 microphone that you were hearing earlier. Now, if you were talking to somebody, it's very important that you hold it very close to you. And if you're talking to, if like, let's say the person that you're interviewing is like on your right side, you want to make sure that you're moving the microphone towards facing where your mouth is speaking towards that direction. And that is going to help you get even a better quality audio because again, if you typically, a lot of people, myself included, tend to move this microphone further down. And as you notice, the audio is a lot slightly farther away. Again, it's going to be better if it's closer. Now, this microphone comes with a USB cable that you can connect to your computer and also comes with an XLR cable that you're going to be connecting. And this is the key. For you to use this type of microphone as a run and gun type of production, you will need a different device or a separate device, and that is this recorder. Now, this one in particular is a Zoom H6N. You do not need to get this one. There are many or multiple recorders, but pretty much what these recorders, what they do is they allow you to, actually, I'm going to move this away. They allow you to bring in multiple channels of audio to your recording so that then you not only have the option to record yourself, but you can also record for people and then manually modify each of those channels and monitor it at the same time, whether it's you or maybe you have an assistant. And that will then help secure a much better audio quality in overall production. And a way for you to convert this setup into a video podcast setup is by adding a camera. You'll probably want to have somebody holding the camera for you. If it's more of a run and gun, it might be a little bit harder if you're just kind of doing a selfie mode or vlogging, but not impossible. But if you also manage to get a space where you can calmly and comfortably sit down and have that conversation, you can then record everything on this device and then record your video on the camera, and then you can sync that in post. So this is fairly simple, and you can do that in a software like Adobe Premiere, and this will then elevate your production and make it and turn it into a video podcast from an audio. Now again, I'm gonna switch the audio to the Shure MV7 so I can walk you through a little bit of the H6N and show you some of the cool things. So if you were going to use this device, let me make sure that's in focus, you can see here that the microphone is connected to this output here. You have 2, 3, and 4, and you have these knobs where you can then, there you go, where you can notice that you can control the audio levels individually. All you need to do is make sure that this is pressed. So like right now I have it on the output 1, and I have it also marked on output 1 here. Like output 3 is marked, but there's no microphone, so nothing is being picked up. So otherwise you can just do that. It's not picking because I'm recording. So the cool thing about this device is that it will give you the option to do up to 4 people that you can interview. So at the time of recording this video, this device is around $280 on B&H. They're not sponsoring this, but there are also other versions of this H6N or H5N or H4N that are precede this edition. They're more affordable, and maybe all you need is just a secondary output, not just, you don't need 4 of these. But this gives you the option to grow if you want a show where you're interviewing multiple people at the same time. So sometimes you want to make sure you want to think ahead as much as you can to see how you're going to invest your money in your production. If you know that maybe in the future you might have maybe like a panel type of discussion, then you might want to consider the idea of investing in this type of device early on, as opposed to having to purchase something that is a little bit more affordable, but then you have to then purchase the other one, sell it, and all that stuff. I hope this video was helpful in giving you ideas on how you can take your podcast production on the go and take it from audio to a video podcast. See you on the next video.